Lee, what's going on? Nice to see you guys. Dog Dying Hot Cars, please. It's a small but very passionate and heartfelt round of applause for our very special guest today. Thanks for joining us, man. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah? You already feel at home, right? You're saying, man. This is a very familiar surrounding for you. You've got a brown couch you're on.
Very, yeah. Yeah, it's quite like us.
It's not as nice as ours.
I was waiting for that.
Although ours doesn't actually have, it's got nicer armrests.
And let's be honest here, Josh Homme has not sat on your brown couch, and that's a very important point to make because, you know, he's got a nice ass.
You win.
Glastonbury this year, 2004, wet and muddy. I watched some of it on television, which was great. I have to say, not actually even to be there and put up with that. But everyone I've spoken to had a good time, and you know, you guys were no exception. You played. Had an incentive of actually throwing down. Was it good? Good show?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it was a packed stage, a packed audience, so it was like. And it was the first time we've actually been to Glastonbury, let alone played. So it was, yeah, it was a good experience. Like,
pretty special place, Glastonbury, I have to say. A few times I've been there, everyone talks about the Stone Circle and, you know.
I went off and tried to find as much. I have to say I was slightly disappointed because I was like, I've been to Leeds and Reading and Tea in the Park, and it's like Glastonbury's a lot weirder. And I went off to try and find the weird stuff. Maybe I just wasn't looking in the right kind of places. But
well, I think it was weirder maybe back in sort of like when it first started, and they literally did just like sacrifice people. They were starting to be like Bob Dylan over on the main stage, and over there's sacrifice. So I think back in those days it was slightly weirder.
But we found a couple of, like, right up in the hills, there was these weird kind of bongo circles going on. And
Lawrence was quite into that.
Lawrence, our drummer, kind of, he went in with a box of wine to start with, that was it, but then eventually someone handed him a drum and
he's off.
He was in his album.
Took his sandals off and...
That's it, and that's the thing with drummers, man. You know, drummers, so misunderstood for 95% of their lives, you know, and then they go and they find a whole bunch of other drummers, and it's just hard to get them away, you know, they just sit there and they just play, man. They just play.
Amazing breed of human.
Exactly. You're a long way from Glasgow, boys. You're playing at Glastonbury, and you know, Glasgow, great place, love it. Been there a few times, and it's wicked. And you know, a rich tradition of live music there. Every time we do the gig listings, Glasgow, you guys have got a wealth of choice. I mean, even tonight, God, who you got tonight? I was flipping through. It's like Secret Machines are playing at King Tut's, Tortoise at Archers, and DMX is playing at the Carling. Rough Riders in the house. There must be a lot of places for you guys to be able to play gigs. You know?
Yeah, that's why we moved to Glasgow. As far as Scotland goes, that's, you know, got the most kind of. You can play here, and they're up for. It was where we were living before. I will mention no names, but you could only play like your. You know, we'd have to play cover songs, but then slip in a few of our own and pretend they were by.
Almost embarrassed. Like,
this is by Dweezil Zappa. We used to play lots of songs.
This song's by Dweezil Zappa. This is by, you know.
just make up like it was and stuff. This is a forgotten, unreleased, rare Bob Marley song which you won't have heard. Brave. Dogs Dying Hot Cars with us, hanging out on the couch today, Gonzo style, trying to sort of make the most of the fact that this is not their brown couch, more our brown couch. Love you because I have to, which is a very sweet and romantic sentiment, I must say. Way to pick up ladies, guys, eh? It's our new single.
It's about Lee's gran.
Is it?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. It did wonders. I'm sure it put you in the good books with your granny, but apart from that, it also got you signed up and got your word out there and everything, and now you've got a label, and let's talk about the making of the record and the album and something more substantial for your fans.
The album? Yeah. Oh, actually, I just happen to have a copy of it here for you, Zane.
They come with gifts.
There you go.
Oh, outstanding. Here we go. Look at that. Man, how proud are you?
Very proud, very proud.
How long did it take?
We did about maybe a couple of weeks pre-production stuff in Glasgow. Then we went to the studio for 5 weeks before Christmas, and then we mixed for about 3 weeks after.
Residential as well. You stayed in the studio and showed there.
In Battle, which was built on the site of Battle Facing.
Actually, Catsfield.
What was it?
Catsfield, the little hamlet outside the village of Battle, which is by the town of Hastings.
You think this is school? It's nice though, right? It's nice being able to stay put in one spot and actually be able to commit yourself to it.
No distractions, you know, just totally in the zone.
How many tracks before you narrow it down to 10? Because 10, I mean, we worked this out, sort of rough math, I reckon it's good, what, clocking about 35, 36 minutes, yeah? It's a good amount of time. Sweet. Fits in on one side of a C45 cassette. Old school. Yeah, you guys are too young to remember that, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, how many tracks originally did you have before you know?
Well, probably before the pre-production we probably had about 20, and then we kind of narrowed it down to maybe about 15 when we went in the studio, and then we just picked them.
Easy though? I mean, they present themselves. few little bones of contention within the band as to which ones go on and which ones don't?
Yeah, there was a couple that we were kind of like, not sure about, but
one of them actually recorded when we were in there. Just it was Modern Women.
Okay.
Sprang out of nowhere when we were in there.
The magic moment, you know, the secret chord, as Leonard Cohen called it, the divine inspiration, the muse that strikes you when you least expect it, and all of a sudden, we've got another contender. You know, what's going to have to go? You know, that's the bummer, isn't it? You know, when something goes on like that, and all of a sudden one of your more faithful children actually hits the hay.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was, I don't know, I mean, I think, looking at it, you know, I think it was those kind of 10 choices are the right ones. And also, you know, we wanted...
That's good. That's good. That's 7, well, 3 of them.
Well, a couple of other ones were maybe, you know, they might be on the second album, you know,
yeah,
we've kind of got
B-sides
them.
And you know what, man, you know, let them go. And B-sides have a great tradition of, especially amongst fans, of kind of holding a very special place.
Well, I love doing B-sides because it's also... it kind of gives you an opportunity of really letting go even more and just kind of trying out, trying out a lot of different things and seeing how you kind of you're progressing. You know what I mean? It's a good way of kind of testing the water with things. So that's quite cool.
Dogs Die on Hot Cars, man, outstanding. What the is this? Please describe yourself.
No, that's limited edition, so that's even
limited. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is that this was originally going to be the album title. Then you went, it doesn't work.
No, that is the album.
Oh, this is the album title.
It doesn't work.
It's going to be huge. Down to MTV. Canada.
No, it's
the picture underneath's changed. This picture underneath.
So this is limited edition. Very strong.
Yeah.
Debut album, long awaited.
Yeah.
Fella's going to hang out a little bit longer. Some questions from the planet. MTV2Europe.com is the name of the planet. Questions, you ask them, yes. For our very special guests today, we got Lee and Craig, Dogs Die on Hot Cars. Where's the rest of the crew? You hanging out?
So I just noticed there, Flow On.
Yeah.
Modest Mouse.
Do you like that track?
Oh man. Oh, that's so good.
Good for them, man. We had them on the couch the other day, and you know, all of a sudden they're huge, massive.
Well, they've been like 10 years in America, you know, kind of doing their thing, and always been this sort of quite underground kind of cult sort of band, and then this album's just totally blown up.
It's the power of having one person at your major record label who actually believes in you. You know what I mean? It goes a long way when someone who, you know, writes the checks actually likes the music. You know, and I'm sure you guys are in a position whereby you've got that with your label. I know a few of the crew down at V2, and they seem really nice peeps.
It's the loveliest bunch of
Looking
people.
after you?
Yeah, good stuff.
You know who else will look after you? Albeit in kind of like a matron type fashion, and that's our planet, MTV2Europe.com. Our beloved people. This from Phil Collins. What? Who the heck?
Phil,
Yeah.
Right,
No,
Phil, yeah.
Seriously. Don't?
Good friend of Craig's.
Right on.
Yeah.
We'll say hi. This from Phil. Who the hell had the idea for your name? I suppose you've been asked that a few times, but never never from Phil.
That's that a lot of times.
Phil.
Yeah, well, you would come up with a name like Dogs Die on Hot Cars.
He's asked us this question before.
Phil Collins has?
Yeah, I'm sure he has.
All right. Should we move on then?
Yeah,
Let's move on. This next one from Bored Rigid. If you could headline any festival, which one would it be? Well, I mean, you've been to Reading and Leeds.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Tea in the Park. It's kind of holds a special place.
It's a wicked festival too.
Yeah.
God, man, they get up at Tea in the Park.
That was the thing about Glastonbury. It was like there's not enough people that are
Wasted.
away with it.
Yeah. Okay, this is from ANG. And when did you decide to become a band? Was it something that you always wanted to do when you were very young?
I mean, we've been playing together since we were 14, so that's a decade.
That's what, 3 years? It's a compliment, gentlemen. It's a compliment. Favourite cheese is a Gonzo classic.
Favourite cheese? Probably, what's it called? Gorgonzola?
Gorgonzola?
Yeah, I think I do like that. Bungee.
Yeah, you know, you can't go with someone else's cheese.
All right, cheddar.
That's a good man. Mature cheddar, strong mature cheddar. Man, I just...
Seriously strong cheddar.
I scoffed
strong
a king-size block of that this weekend. I was just like carving it up and putting it, wrapping a piece of salami around it, doing it Belgian style. All right, this from Horatio. What is godhopping?
Godhopping. Well, the word godhopping means the song has got nothing to do with God and hopping, but godhopping means.
Oh, Storytellers on VH1 starring Dogs Die on Hot Cars.
So godhopping, the word, the definition of the word is when you change religion in order to gain aid of missionaries.
Good work. Wow, deep.
Yep.
Right, does that answer your question, Jen? That's for Nick, Horatio's girlfriend, Jen, who's seen you guys about half a dozen times, which is amazing. You've done about 6 gigs. And yeah, she's the biggest fan, Dogs Don't Hot Cars in the world. And you know what? I've got one of these on my desk at Radio 1. I guarantee it. So why don't we give that to Jen as a little special limited edition present? Because Horatio, there's a lot around the place, you know what I mean? There's a lot around the place.
Generous.
You know, all he ever tends to get is a lot of abuse. So it's nice to give a little something back.
Thank you.
Guys, it's been a real pleasure hanging out with you. You're good lads and really good luck with your record, man.
Thanks
I know
for
I think it
having us.
really well for you. Excellent. Dogs Don't Hot Cars. Pick up the album. When's it out?
12th of July.
12th of July.
Day after Teen the Park.
Businessman.
And the single's out on the 5th.
5th of July.
Because I haven't got a clue. So these